One of the enviable abilities that English learners want to achieve is the ability to speak fast while sounding natural. Basically, words flowing out without hesitation. Is that possible? Absolutely. And I'll show you how. Hi, hello there, I'm Abdurrahman, and I learned the British accent from home. That is not important probably for you, but if you care about universality and you're curious or want to fancy acquiring any accent, foreign accent, for acting or whatever reason, then welcome to the club. Alright, so the first thing that we need to do in order to be able to speak fast is we need English language input. And what this basically means is that you have to immerse yourself in English content. I talk about immersion on my YouTube channel a lot because it's so effective. You're going to learn a lot by immersing yourself in English language content. The main objective of this is to train your ear with English patterns of speech and also thought search. Every language has a pattern of speech, and by immersing yourself, you're going to understand those patterns. So one of the things that you can watch are shows, preferably podcasts and interview style shows where it's two people speaking, and you're going to analyze how they speak, how they respond to certain comments and stuff like that. Also, surrounding yourself with native speakers, either physically or online, is another way that you can immerse yourself in English language. Other added benefits that you're going to get out of immersing yourself in English is that you're going to understand English sense of humor. So examples of English humor is sarcasm and irony. And this basically meaning the complete opposite of what you say. And the tone of voice is everything. So you see someone coming from outside and it was raining, so they're drenched in rain. And then somebody goes, well, isn't this a perfect weather to take a walk? They don't really mean that we should take a walk right now because it's the perfect weather, to take a walk. It actually means it is not a perfect weather to take a walk. So why would you go out? That is sarcasm, meaning the opposite of what you say. Another thing is exaggeration, and it's a very common thing in English to exaggerate stuff. So somebody is hungry and they'll be like, I'm so hungry, I could eat a horse, right? Doesn't mean that they're going to eat a horse, but they can eat a lot of food because they're hungry. That's what it means. Another English sense of humor is understatement. This is where they make the whole situation small and trivial, as if nothing happened. So somebody is involved in a car crash, two cars collided, and they're asked, are you okay? And they'll be like, yeah, I'm fine. It's just a scratch. And mind you, they were about to die and they probably had some serious injuries, and they're just telling you it's just a scratch. Okay? So that is understatement. Another benefit that you're going to get out of immersing yourself in English content is that you're going to learn popular English responses. And this is good because you have things to say straight off the bat without thinking too much. Let me give you examples of popular English responses. So when reacting to good news, you can say, that's awesome, good for you, nice one, I'm happy for you, and so on. When reacting to bad news, you can say, oh no, that's terrible, I'm sorry to hear that. That must be really hard. Hope things get better soon. When it comes to giving your opinion, these are the popular responses. I think so too. I see what you mean. In my opinion, that makes sense, and so on. Popular responses to agreeing and disagreeing politely include exactly. So you say it when you agree with someone. I totally agree, when you 100% agree with them. I'm not sure I agree with that. That is said when you don't agree with the person. You might be right, but I see it differently. Okay, that's a professional one. So you see, by immersing yourself in English content, you're going to learn go-to phrases that are popular, and you're going to come off as someone who is well versed in the English language and knows how to communicate. Another added benefit that you're going to get out of immersing yourself in English content is that you're going to understand English rhythm. So every language has its own rhythm, and by watching people speak English, you're going to integrate that. It's like embracing a whole different personality when speaking English. Just make sure that the podcast that you're listening to or the TV show that you're watching is 90% or 95% made out of vocabulary that you're going to understand, and probably 5 to 10% new vocabulary, because you don't want to make this thing overwhelming, and lose motivation, or you don't want to make it seem too easy and get bored or think that you mastered the whole thing. Okay, that's what some people call comprehensible input. Okay, after having some level of English language input, what's next is that we need to shadow and imitate. So you see someone saying, "Hey, how have you been? I haven't seen you in quite a while." Say exactly what they said. That's what we call shadowing. And it's not like you're giving up your culture or anything like that, because you are learning the language and this is part of the learning process. So just making things clear. Alright, so these first two steps are the stepping stones for you to master the ability to speak fast in English, because you got a bank of things to say in English and describe as well. Now let me give you actual ways to speak fast in the English language. So number one is the use of filler words. These are basically words that are said when somebody is thinking of what to say next. So too much of it isn't good, but a decent use here and there from time to time is not bad. Let me give you examples of filler words. And these are very classical filler words. So you're thinking about something, you'll be like, I think that we need to go, right? That's an example. We got other ones like, the word like itself is a filler word. So it will be like, I used it right now. In a sentence, in an example will be, it was like the best movie I've ever seen. Another example of a filler word is so. You're thinking about something to say, you'll be like, so let's move forward, something like that. Another one is, I want to go to the party, Other examples include I mean, well, actually, basically, and so on. Again, we should stay away from using it too much because it will make us come off as bad communicators. Instead, we should integrate pauses when we're thinking about things to say. Another thing that will help us speak fast is knowing what we want to say and also being present in that moment that you are speaking, meaning that you shouldn't be thinking of other things to say while you are talking about something. It's kind of easy to overlook, but in my experience is that when you are present in the moment and you know what you want to talk about, then it's very easy for you to, speak flawlessly and the words are just gonna pop out. And then thirdly, taking up presentation roles in the English language, meaning that you should put yourself in situations where you are needed to speak in English in order to explain something and, that sort of thing. Also, recording yourself is another way to enhance your communication skills because it allows you to spot the mistakes and then work on them. I have seen people starting YouTube channels just for no other reason but to practice their English, and it's doing great for them. So, point is, you need to put yourself in a situation where you are in constant need of using and practicing your English. While it might appear that this skill is something that some people are born with, it can be learned totally. Do drop down your thoughts in the comment section. I'd be happy to read them. That's it from me. See you in another video, and goodbye.